Right. So, you know how much we love to dig into the stories behind the headlines? Well, get ready for a wild one. Today, we're diving deep into all the allegations surrounding Sean P. Diddy Combs. And let me tell you, this one's got more layers than a puff pastry.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking decades worth of accusations here. Assault, coercion, even human trafficking. It's heavy stuff.
Yeah, it definitely paints a different picture of the guy we saw in those shiny suits,
Yeah.
making hit after hit.
Right, and that's actually a key part of this whole thing. The video we're looking at really emphasizes just how much power and influence Diddy had, especially in the music industry.
He wasn't just some artist. He was calling the shots, shaping careers left and right.
Exactly. He was a kingmaker, you know? And when you have that kind of power, it makes you wonder, how was it used? Was it used to silence people, to keep them from speaking out?
Especially because these accusations didn't just come out of nowhere. The video mentions all these whispers about Diddy's behavior that were circulating way before any lawsuits were ever filed.
Oh, yeah, like way back in '99, there was that assault lawsuit. And then you have the accusations about what was going on in his clothing factories, the labor violations.
Let's not forget the whole Biggie and Tupac thing. Those rumors never really went away, did they?
Nope. They definitely added to this image of Diddy as a guy who always seemed to be surrounded by controversy, like where there's smoke, there's fire. But then 2023 hits, and whoa, things really explode, starting with Cassie Ventura's lawsuit.
That felt different, like a turning point.
It was. I mean, first of all, it broke the silence. Suddenly other people are like, wait, maybe I'm not alone here. But Ventura also alleged this really disturbing pattern of abuse. We're talking coercion, assault, even being forced into sex acts with male prostitutes.
The video called them freak-offs.
Yeah.
Just joke.
Yeah. Not mincing words there.
So Diddy's lawyer denies everything, calls Ventura a liar, but then they settle out of court. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
For sure. I mean, a settlement doesn't equal guilt, right? But it definitely raises questions, especially because, and this is important, Ventura's lawsuit happened right when New York passed that Adult Survivors Act.
Which, just so everyone's on the same page, that law basically gave victims of past abuse a chance to sue, even if way too much time had passed.
Exactly. So this legal window opens up, and all of a sudden, bam, 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 Diddy's hit with all these lawsuits. And the accusations are eerily similar: assault, coercion, even human trafficking.
Like a pattern was finally coming into focus.
Right. But just as things couldn't get any crazier, guess who gets involved?
The feds, which is never a good sign.
Not at all. And it wasn't just a little peek either. The video made it sound like they were building a whole racketeering case against Diddy, claiming he used his companies to cover up criminal activity.
Okay, so we're talking about some serious legal trouble here. What exactly does that even mean? Racketeering.
So basically, the indictment portrays Diddy's whole operation as this calculated system of intimidation and violence. They even alleged drug use was involved, all to control people, keep them quiet. And get this, the feds actually seized evidence, including recordings and a crazy amount of baby oil.
They found what?
Thousands of bottles allegedly used in these freak-offs.
Wow, that is a lot to unpack. But when you hear those two words, federal charges, things just got very real. Their conviction rate is no joke.
Absolutely. This is serious business. And the feds are still investigating. In fact, they're encouraging anyone with information to come forward. They clearly believe there's more to the story.
Yeah, when you hear the feds are involved, it's like, this isn't just tabloid drama anymore. This is the real deal.
It really is. And it makes you think about all the people who might have been afraid to come forward before,
Exactly. Because if you're going up against someone with that kind of clout, it's intimidating, to say the least.
To say the least. And that's what makes these allegations from Lil Rod so interesting. Remember him? Another music industry figure.
Oh, yeah. His lawsuit kind of adds a whole other layer to this whole thing. He's not just accusing Diddy of, harassment and threats. He's saying he saw this stuff firsthand.
Yeah, and some pretty disturbing stuff, too. Like, Lil Rod claims Diddy would actually record these encounters he had with people, almost like he was trying to collect, compromising material on them.
Oh, wow. Talk about a power move.
Right. It's like, imagine the control you would have if you had something like that over someone. And Lil Rod didn't hold back either. He named names.
He did, including Diddy's own son, Justin Combs, though he was later removed from the lawsuit.
Yeah, but still, it just shows you how deep this whole thing goes. And it makes you wonder, who else knew about this? Who else might have been involved? Like, the video mentions that at one point even Universal Music Group got dragged into this.
Wait, hold on. Universal? as in one of the biggest music labels on the planet.
The one and only. Now, they were later removed from the lawsuit too, but the fact that their name even came up, it makes you think.
It makes you think, like, how high up does this go? Like,
Yeah.
were people looking the other way because it was Diddy?
Exactly. And it's not just about Diddy. It's about the whole system, the culture that might have allowed this to happen. This culture of, don't bite the hand that feeds you, especially in an industry as cutthroat as music.
It's like that whole too good to be true thing. You get promised fame and fortune, but what happens when you realize it comes at a cost you never agreed to pay?
And who are you going to tell?
Oh,
All right,
yes.
you're up against these powerful figures, these huge corporations.
It's scary and heartbreaking to think about the people who might have been trapped in those situations, feeling like they had nowhere to turn.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to ignore the elephant in the room here, these freak-offs the video kept mentioning.
Right.
The planning, the coercion involved, it's just, ugh. Disturbing doesn't even begin to cover it.
No, it really doesn't. And the detail about the feds finding all that baby oil, that wasn't just some random coincidence. That speaks to a whole other level of darkness, It's
Like, he thought he was untouchable.
Exactly. Like the rules didn't apply to him.
Which is why I think those federal charges are so important.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, no, this isn't just how the music industry works. This is criminal behavior, and we're not letting it slide.
And they're not. They've made it very clear they believe there are more victims out there, more to this story than we even know.
It's kind of chilling when you think about it. Like, we see these glamorous industries, music, movies, and we don't often think about what might be going on behind the scenes.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the fantasy of it all.
Totally. And this whole Diddy situation, it's like a wake-up call. It makes you realize these power imbalances, they can pop up anywhere.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about the music industry, right? We've seen it in Hollywood, in sports, even in politics. It's like anywhere there's power, there's a potential for abuse.
It's a human problem, not a music industry problem.
Exactly. It's this thing in us, this need to create these hierarchies, these systems where some people are on top and some are at the bottom. And then we trust the people at the top blindly instead of,
Instead of questioning things, holding them accountable.
Exactly. We need to be questioning these systems constantly, encouraging people to speak up, not just, go with the flow, look the other way.
Right. Because if we don't say anything, if we don't demand better, nothing's going to change.
And change is possible, but it takes all of us. It takes awareness, education, and action.
So what can we actually do? Like, what's a concrete step we can take to make sure this kind of stuff doesn't keep happening?
Well, first, educate yourself, right? Understand how these systems work, how this kind of abuse can fester. And then support organizations that are fighting for victims' rights, organizations that are trying to prevent this from happening again.
And maybe even more importantly, when someone speaks out, believe them, support them. Because coming forward, especially when you're going up against a powerful figure, that takes serious guts.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Speaking up, even when it's terrifying, that's how change happens.
It's like that saying, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing.
Wow. Powerful stuff.
This whole deep dive into these P. Diddy allegations, it's been intense.
Yeah.
And honestly, at times, it's been pretty damn hard to hear.
For sure.
But you know what? It's important. We can't just look away from these uncomfortable truths.
Nope.
Because the more we know, the more we understand, the better equipped we are to actually make a difference.
Exactly. Knowledge is power.
It really is. Well, on that note, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. It's been real, as always.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure.
And remember, if you or someone you know needs help, you are not alone. We'll be sure to include some resources in the show notes. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.